I bet you didn't think I was going to show up for day two. Welcome back to Daily Dose of Donna. It's January 7th, 2023. It is a Saturday, which is why, if you're watching on YouTube, you see that I am in my full on like workout gear, no makeup, hair up, the whole shebang. Literally, I'm about to shower because we have plans tonight. And I decided, nope. Made a promise. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a Saturday and Sunday thing. I'm just going to be 100% honest. But because I started yesterday, I'm like, I got to show up today. Okay? I got to show up. And today what we're going to talk about is my obsession in 2022. It started back in 2022, but it's going into 2023 with reading freaking fiction books. Literally, this is a new era. And let me just try to explain to you. Do you have that book, like that one book? If you're a reader, do you have that one book that you felt like obsessed with, that kind of just like opened your world and opened your life into becoming a reader when you were younger? I I read, I feel like all the time, but Bridget Jones' Diary was the first book that I can remember. And it was like right around this time where I started to recognize that there was something called what we call chick lit. Is that still a thing? Chick lit? Chick literature, which is when I was in college. I feel like let me look up when Bridget Jones' Diary came out. But when I was in college, there was um, a book, obviously, Bridget Jones' Diary, and it came out around that time, I want to say, and I became obsessed with it. And the reason why was because for the first time, let's see, Bridget Jones' Diary, okay, novel, but okay, well, we know that it was a novel. 1996, that's exactly right before college. So I went to college in 99. So I guess maybe I only read it in college. I don't know. Maybe I read it in high school, but it changed my life. I became obsessed with this idea of reading all the books about these kind of like single women going through the process of like growing up, rite of passage, first jobs, romance, whatever. And I was like a book hoarder after that. So college, really going to Barnes and Noble or Bookstore or whatever bookstores there were up where I was in Santa Barbara were really my candy stores. And I still say that. Like going into a bookstore still to this day feels like a candy store. It's so calming to me and it is so inviting. And college was a tough time and it really gave me this like safe haven. I read every night before bed. Now, at that time, 99 and 2003, we didn't have the invention of smartphones. We did have phones, but they weren't like social media type phones or anything like that. So I didn't have anything to do at night except read and maybe watch shows, which I never did at night. So reading was my thing. And I went through book after book after book after book after book. And then, of course, graduated, grew up a little bit, still was reading a ton. Once I got married and had my kids, reading just went away. It just stopped. I went from, becoming a voracious reader to literally not being able to open a book unless it was like a celebrity memoir. So I would do the Audible versions and I would listen to books, but never fiction. I just couldn't find a book that I was into. And at the end of 2021, I was in Mexico and I brought some books. I was like, I'm going to get back into books. And I brought a book called One Day in December or something. I can't remember now what it was called, but it was by Rebecca Searle. And this is really good, you guys. I'm really on it. And clearly, it's called In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. And this is a book that I read on the beach, literally feet in the sand, water, the tide coming up on me. It was amazing with a margarita in hand. Loved this book and just read through it. And I was like, wow, I can get back into books. Like, I'm capable of this. This is amazing. And since then, I've just become a book reader. And in 2022, I started to really focus more on trying to be more intentional about listening to books rather than podcasts all the time, or reading books rather than scrolling on my phone. And I've gotten through a bunch. In fact, I started a second Instagram called Donna's Book List. It's at Donna's Book List. I'll tag it below. And so because of that, I started to get really into books. And I really have a challenge right now. I put myself into a challenge of reading, I think I said 50 books this year. That includes audiobooks. So I just finished my first book of 2023, Daisy Jones and the Six, and I can come up with an entire episode just reviewing this book. Daisy Jones and the Six is a book that completely, changed the game. It's so beautifully written. I listened to it. So it was all these voices. It felt like I was listening to a theatrical play. It was so well done. The acting is so important. I don't think people realize how important the acting is when it comes to narration of audiobooks. Do you guys feel the same way? I need to know. But this book is so amazing, and there's actually going to be a series, like a limited series, that is coming out because of the book, of through the book. And the author, Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now I've read a bunch of her books. I read One True Loves, loved it. I read Malibu Rising, really good. I read Six Husbands of Evelyn. Is it Six Husbands or Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo? Obsessed. And there was one more that I read that I thought was also really great. I really love her style of writing, and that's the cool thing about finding that author. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you're looking for a new book, this is a good one to listen to. I'm sure it's also a good read, but it's a great one to listen to. I'm also reading on my Kindle. I'm reading a book called Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. And then I have about 5 more books that people are telling me to get into next. So if you're a book lover like me, make sure to listen to this episode and respond below what kind of books you like, and follow me over at Donna's Book List so that we can get the book party going. I feel like I want to do a monthly episode of Daily Dose just for book reviews, because that's how much I love it. And then there's a few other topics that I want to hit up, but I'm not going to make these episodes long, so we're just going to leave it at that. We're going out tonight. We're going to a friend's house who lives nearby. These are actually friends it's actually 2 couples and their kids. And both the husbands I went to Israel with when I was 16. I went like on a study abroad, and they've remained really, really close. And one of them lived on the East Coast for years, and one of them lived here in Los Angeles. And our kids went to the same preschool. So it's been a lot of kind of interweaving. So we still get together all the time. All the wives are friends and the kids are friends. It's very cute. So we're doing that. We're going to have a fun night in and just chill. And I am really, really looking forward to a weekend, because we all need this. And that is the end of today's episode. So thank you so much for you subscribing. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to talk to you guys a little bit about what the F I was thinking today, this morning, the morning after, when you make a commitment. And it's funny, I was talking to my friend Lainey, and she was like, "You're insane. You're actually insane." I'm like, "Yes, I am. And you're right." And so, so cheers to all the insane people taking the ride with me. I appreciate you guys. All the messages are so sweet. I'll see you guys tomorrow.